Silva Mind Control Method, Chapter 8, Your Words Have Power. In the introduction, we suggested that you do not practice any of the exercises during the first reading. The following is an exception. Try it now. Use all your imagination in this exercise. Let's look at the implications of this. Imagine you're standing in your kitchen, holding a lemon that you just took out of the refrigerator. It feels cold in your hand. Notice its outer appearance, its yellowish peel. It has a waxy yellow color, and the peel ends in 2 small green points. Give it a little squeeze and feel its firmness and weight. Now bring the lemon to your nose and smell it. Nothing smells like a lemon, does it? Now cut the lemon in half and smell it. The smell is more intense. Now bite into it and let the juice swirl around in your mouth. There's nothing that tastes like a lemon either, is there? By this point, if you've used your imagination right, your mouth should be watering. Let's analyze the applications of all this. Words, simple words, affected your salivary glands. The words did not even reflect a reality, but something you imagined. When he read those words about the lemon, he was telling his brain that he had a lemon, even though he didn't really mean it. His brain took him seriously and told his salivary glands, "This guy is biting into a lemon. Hurry up, rinse your mouth." The glands obeyed. Most of us think that the words we use reflect meanings, and that what they mean can be good or bad, true or false, powerful or weak. This is true, but that is not all. Words not only reflect reality, they create reality like the flow of saliva. The brain is not an astute interpreter of our intentions. It receives information and accumulates it. And since it is in charge of our body, if we say something to it like, "I am eating a lemon now," it starts working. The time has come for what we call mental cleansing in mind control. There is no exercise for this, but it is simply the decision to be careful with the words we use to activate our brain. The lemon exercise we performed was neutral. It did not bring us any physical benefit or harm. But the words we use every day can cause either benefits or harm. A lot of kids play a little game at mealtime. They describe the food they're eating in the most nauseating terms possible. Butter is made from squashed insects, to pick one of the least picturesque examples I can remember. The object of the game is to pretend not to be nauseated by these new perspectives on food, and to push someone else beyond their ability to pretend. It often works, and what happens is that suddenly someone loses their appetite. As adults, we often fall into the same game. We smother our appetite for life with negative words, and the words, as they gather power through repetition, in turn give rise to negative lives. "How are you?" I can't complain," or "There's no point in complaining," or "so-so." How does the brain respond to these depressing attitudes? When it's a pain to do the dishes, or it's a real pain to balance your checkbook, or you're sick of the weather we're having, it makes me think that proctologists owe a large part of their income to the words we use. Remember, the brain is a literal interpreter. It says, "This guy's asking for a headache. All right, give him a headache." Of course, every time we say that something causes us pain, pain does not arise immediately. The natural state of the body is good health, and all its processes are adapted to health. However, if you beat its defenses enough verbally, it ends up producing the same diseases that we order. Two things add power to the words we use: our mental level and the degree of emotional involvement in what we say. If we say, "My God, that hurts," with conviction, we offer warm hospitality to the pain. If we say, "I can't get anything done here," with vehemence, the sentence becomes a reality that adds effective validity to the feeling. Mind control offers effective defenses against our own harmful habits. In alpha and theta, our words have an incredibly increased power. In the previous chapters, you have seen how, by means of simple words, you can program your dreams in advance and transfer from words to your 3 fingers the power to take them to alpha. I never laughed at Emile Coué, although many people do in these modern times. He is known for a line that today provokes laughter as easily as a good joke. Every day, in every way, I am better and better. These words have cured thousands of people of truly serious illnesses. They are not a joke. I respect them and look at Dr. Coué with amazement and gratitude because I have learned invaluable lessons from his book, Self-Mastery Through Autosuggestion. Dr. Coué was a chemist for nearly 30 years in Troyes, France, where he was born. After studying and experimenting with hypnosis, he developed his own psychotherapy based on autosuggestion. In 1910, he opened a free clinic in Nancy, where he successfully treated thousands of patients, some with rheumatism, severe headaches, asthma, paralysis of one limb, others with stuttering, tuberculous sores, a surprising variety of fibrous tumors and ulcers, a whole host of ailments. He never cured anyone. He said he taught them to cure themselves. There is no doubt that cures occurred. They are well documented. But the Coué method has almost completely disappeared since his death in 1926. If this method had been so complex that only a few specialists could learn to practice it, it might be widely used today. It is a simple method. Anyone can learn it. Its essence is in mind control. There are 2 fundamental principles. 1, we can only think about one thing at a time. And 2, when we concentrate on a thought, the thought becomes reality because our body transforms it into action. So, if you want to activate your body's healing processes, which may be hindered by negative thoughts, conscious or unconscious, simply repeat 20 times in a row. Every day, in every way, I am better and better. Do this twice a day, and you will be using the Coué method. Since my own research has shown that the power of words is greatly intensified at the meditative levels, I have made some adaptations of this method. At the alpha and theta levels, we say, every day, in every way, I am better, better, better. We say this only once during the meditation session. We also say, and this is also an influence of Dr. Coué, negative thoughts and negative suggestions have no influence on me at any mental level. These 2 sentences alone have produced an impressive number of concrete results. Of particular interest is the experience of a soldier who was suddenly sent to Indochina before he could finish more than the first day of the mind control course. He remembered the way of meditating and remembered these 2 prayers. He was assigned to the unit of an alcoholic sergeant with an irritable character who singled out the newcomer to make him a special victim of his abuse. After a few weeks, the soldier began to wake up at night with fits of coughing, then with asthma attacks, which he had never had before. A thorough medical examination showed that he was in perfect health. Meanwhile, he grew more and more tired, began to perform poorly at his job, and attracted even more unpleasant attention from his sergeant. Other members of his unit began to resort to drugs. He mentioned prayers. Fortunately, he resorted to mind control and was able to meditate 3 times a day. Within 3 days, I was completely immune to the sergeant. I did what he told me to do, but nothing he said could affect me. Within a week, I stopped coughing, and my asthma was gone. What makes this man's experience particularly interesting is that he did not know any of these techniques, but used only the 2 affirmations he learned that first day. Words are surprisingly powerful, even at much deeper mental levels than those we use in mind control. An Oklahoma nurse anesthetist and mind control lecturer, Mrs. Jean Mabry, applies this knowledge to help her patients. As soon as they are under deep anesthesia, she whispers instructions into their ears that can speed their recovery and, in some cases, save their lives. During an operation, the patient had a profuse hemorrhage, and the surgeon was amazed. There was barely a trickle of blood. Mrs. Mabry had murmured, "Tell your body not to bleed." He did this before the first incision, and then about every 10 minutes during the operation. During another operation, she murmured, "When you wake up, you'll feel like everyone in your life loves you, and you'll love yourself." This patient was a particular concern for her surgeon. She was a tense, complaining woman who thought any pain was bad, and that could hinder her recovery. Later, when she awoke from the effects of the anesthetic, there was a new expression on her face. And 3 months later, the surgeon told Mrs. Mabry that this once extremely nervous patient was transformed. She had become a relaxed and optimistic person and recovered quickly from her operation. Mrs. Mabry's work illustrates 3 things we teach in mind control. First, words have a special power at deep mental levels. Second, the mind exercises a much stronger authority over the body than is given credit for. And third, as I noted in Chapter 5, we are always conscious. How many parents burst into a sleeping child's room, quickly straighten the covers, and walk out, when a pause to say a few positive, loving words would help the child feel more secure and calmer throughout the day. So many mind control graduates report improvements in their health, sometimes before they had even finished the course, that on one occasion, I discovered I was on the verge of having a problem with the medical profession in my hometown. Some patients told their doctors that we had cured their health problems, and the doctors complained to the district attorney. He conducted an investigation and found that we were not practicing medicine, as the doctors feared. Fortunately, it is not illegal for mind control to be beneficial to health, or the mind control organization would not exist today. Watch more videos of the Silva Mind Control Method on our Planeta Libro channel.